Hey everyone, this is Chug from Cuboid Gaming, coming at you with another buyer pass. Today I will be talking about Shadow of the Tomb Raider, the last game in the rebooted Tomb Raider series. If you have played any of the previous two Tomb Raider games, then you will know how they improved over the course of time. Shadow just shows you how developers can just create a base and build upon it over time. Shadow of the Tomb Raider is very similar to the other games, but this time it feels like it has been polished and developed the perfect way. Obviously, this is a spoiler-free video, so don't worry about the game being spoiled for you. Here's a rundown of all the aspects of the game. The first thing I'm going to point out is the story. It seems like they put a lot more work into the main characters, because you feel you are closer to them by the end of the game. The game is the longest game so far, so they had a lot of time to work on the character development. The game basically starts off with you and your friend Jonah crashing into a Peruvian rainforest from a massive storm. It then shows you how you got to the point where you are, and why you are in Peru. You are trying to find a special box to alter the course of humanity. A Mayan apocalypse was set into motion when you took a special dagger off of a pedestal, and it is your job to stop it. I know I can't really go into any other details for spoiler reasons, but the story is very good. You have to play the game to understand exactly what I'm talking about. One thing this game has a lot more of than the previous games are side quests. There are actually so many. Also, if you own the DLCs, you will get more side quests to play in the main game. Each one gives you an extra bonus, so you can have an edge over all the enemies. You can also unlock new gear, so it is easier to traverse the terrain. The combat in the game is probably the best in the series. From covering yourself in mud and stealth killing enemies, to running and gunning your way to victory. You can pretty much play however you want. As you progress, you get a ton of choices for weapons, and you can also upgrade each individual weapon. The bow just feels so powerful, and you can also get an arrow that makes an enemy turn on its friends. The combat is very clean and developed in this game. It seems like the combat in this game is lowered compared to the other games, but lets you focus on exploration and upgrades even more. The upgrade and skill system in the game are actually so polished, that I wish every game had one like it. Each weapon has a certain number of upgrades you can get for them. It is not too complicated. I have to say that material collection in this game has never been easier. It makes for a very relaxing time when exploring. The skill tree is the coolest one I've seen in a game. It has all been placed onto one screen, and it is color coded by the type of upgrade it is. I have never been impressed with a skill tree screen before, but this one takes the cake for the best one I've ever seen. It also fits the atmosphere very well. If you like a very well done menu system, then this game has it all. One major thing I do have to mention are the puzzles in the game. There are many ways to do these puzzles, whether it is by playing the main story or exploring an optional tomb. The puzzles are all different, and they have all these unique looks to them. Some are not easy, but that is what makes it fun. There are a bunch of DLC challenge tombs that you can play either by yourself or with a friend who owns the game. They feel short, but if you try to play all the different modes, it can pose a real challenge. The way you complete puzzles is even better in this game, because it was almost like they took all the good stuff from the previous game and turned it into one giant game. The puzzles are one of the best parts of the game. Going along with puzzles, the exploration of the game has been boosted from the previous ones. There's just so much to find and explore. Whether it be documents, chests, or artifacts, the game never ceases to impress with the amount of stuff to do. You can also talk to people to find clues on where there are new items. The exploration is a big part of this game, so keep that in mind before buying it. The graphics in the game blew me away. I always wondered why people use this game as a benchmark for new and improved PC specs, but now I know why. In the previous games, there were a few areas in the games that made me just stare at the areas and views, but Shadow of the Tomb Raider gave me that pretty much the entire game. It was like I never got bored of looking at anything. From lighting to the textures, everything seemed perfect. I wonder what it is like playing it in RTX. Even the menu impressed me with the models of people and animals, and also the physics of the game are amazing. Albeit, the Tomb Raider games didn't have realistic movement like real life, but you can excuse that because it is a video game. When you walk through mud, you feel like you are walking through actual mud. It moves out of the way and you sort of get stuck in it. The developers did a great job with this game, and the graphics just blew me away. The music in the game is very different, because they took classical music and mixed it with South American music. It is actually pretty genius if you think about it, but it just makes the atmosphere of the game better than it already is. Whether you are exploring a dark cave or running away from a jaguar through a rainforest, it seems like there is always a soundtrack for everything. I would say this game is the best of the Tomb Raider games. To sum it all up, this game is a definite buy. If you are a fan of the 2 previous games, then you will love this game. It is like they took everything good from the other 2 games and created a game from it. I would buy it at full price because there is so much content packed into this game. From exploration to side quests, there is just so much to do. It definitely is worth your money. I hope you enjoyed this buyer pass and make sure to like and subscribe. Also, check out our gaming podcast. Link is in the description.